Dan Kolko, Jake Irvin here in the Nationals bullpen. We just got stretched out, and now we're ready to go behind the seams as Jake Irvin is going to teach us how to throw his curveball.
Swing and a miss.
Another swing and a miss, and another good curveball. Irvin lets out a yell, telling Nats Park to come to their feet here on July 4th.
So your curveball has been a major weapon for you. You throw it 33% of the time-ish. It's got a 25% whiff rate on it. How much of your success at the big league level do you think has been directly tied to your curveball and how important that pitch has been for you?
Yeah, it's been big time. I think that, developing a feel for a pitch like that at an early age is kind of what's helped me throw it at this level, but being able to tunnel it off of different pitches and kind of utilize it as a weapon that way. It's been great.
In terms of the Baseball Savant run value, it's got a 5 run value on that pitch alone. So in terms of your arsenal, the metrics for whatever that is worth, rate it as a really effective pitch for you. Let's get into the origins of this grip. Mm-hmm. When you started gripping your curveball this way, how it all came about, who taught it to you, tell us.
Yeah, this was kind of something that I just did in the backyard with my buddies, and
really,
it was nothing special. We threw fastballs and whatnot all the time, and just kind of goofing around. I played shortstop growing up, throwing it to first baseman. I liked the way that it felt in my hand, and I would just grip it and rip it, and then play in college ball and in the minor leagues, just kind of refined it. Tried to hone in that shape and make it more effective than it had been in the past. But I think the feel came from just a young age, just messing around and throwing it.
So let's get into it now, Jake. How do you grip your curveball?
For me, I like to have my middle finger on this inside seam here on the horseshoe, with my pointer finger kind of pushed up against that middle finger. Pointer finger's not necessarily on top of the ball, it's more pushed up against this other middle finger.
Okay.
And then I like to get my thumb on the bottom seam, so I feel like I'm almost cutting the baseball in half with the middle finger and the thumb. And for me, it's just kind of a cue of throw that middle finger to the plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of your ring finger, when I talked to Max Scherzer about his curveball, he really liked to tuck that ring finger underneath the baseball and feel like it kind of locked his wrist in.
Okay.
What are you doing with your ring finger, your pinky, when these 3 fingers are doing the bulk of the work?
Yeah, for me, I have a bunch of pressure on this middle finger. So I have the pressure on the middle finger, and with the ring finger sitting on the side of the ball, I like to feel the pressure over here. So now it feels like I just have a lot of pressure on this side of the ball. I'm not necessarily pushing against it when I'm releasing, but, grabbing the pitch, holding that and getting that feel, I like to feel the pressure on that side of the baseball.
Does that allow you, sometimes we see your curveball have a little bit more sweep to it. Sometimes it has a little bit more vertical break. Explain that to us, and maybe that pressure that you're talking about on the side of the baseball, does that lead to some of that sometimes?
Yeah, that's by design, trying to manipulate shapes to certain hitters, in certain counts, certain at-bats, but having, the comfortability with this grip, I think that just manipulating the pressure that I have on whether it's my middle finger, my thumb, just trying to feel something different kind of at release point. I think that's just been from getting comfortable with the grip and understanding what it does when I have different pressure points and different release points.
How have you you mentioned over the years you have maybe made some slight tweaks to it or whatever. How has it changed over the years? Maybe not in terms of grip, but in terms of feel, in terms of approach to the pitch.
Yeah, it's been kind of like a full circle thing with the curveball for me. In high school, I threw like a very big slurve. It had like a lot of depth, but it was also very side to side. And then when I was in college, it became more of like a hard slider. And then I think getting into pro ball and working with the guys here, just found what worked best for me. And for me, it was going back to more of the shape I had in high school, but with the same feel that I developed in college. So I was able to throw a harder version of what I was throwing in high school, something that was a lot sharper and just more effective pitch.
Now, I know that you don't want, when you're throwing an off-speed pitch, to have your arm look like it's slowing down, whether it's a changeup, a breaking ball. You want it to look like the same arm action as a fastball. So are you, when you have the grip and when you're ready to throw your curveball, are you thinking, I'm going to throw the heck out of this pitch, even though it's not, you know, a mid-90s fastball?
Yeah, I think that's been kind of the biggest, like, just thing with all my pitches throughout the development process, and even today, is learning that everything you throw is like a power pitch. You know, guys try and light up the radar gun with a fastball, but at the end of the day, if we're going to make, you know, better pitch shapes and more effective pitch shapes, like throwing it hard and throwing it with a lot of intent is definitely more effective than, you know, babying it or just trying to get it to a spot rather than driving it to a spot. You know, that's what allows it to be as nasty or as effective as it can be.
Final question. If I had told you when you were just messing around with your friends back in Little League and high school that you would be a big leaguer standing here in a major league bullpen talking to us about how you throw your curveball, and it's by and large the same pitch that you were throwing back then, how would you have reacted to that?
I think that young kid probably would have said, how do you want me to throw it for you? You know, like, just super excited.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you want now. But it's humbling, man. It's so awesome to share the field with these guys and just have the opportunity to play ball at this level every day. I'm grateful for it and just happy to be here.
Show it to us again. Middle finger there right on the seam. Index finger kind of putting
Pushing
pressure
up
on it.
that, yep.
Thumb kind of splitting the ball in half on the backside.
That's right.
There you go. The Jake Irvin curveball, one that's led him to a fantastic second season in the big leagues, and awesome of him to show it to us. Jake, thanks, buddy.
Dan, thank you.
Jake Irvin taking us behind the seams.